Hello everybody, it's Deloaded here, and welcome back to the build tutorial world. This is the same world that I've done the two other build tutorials on, the road tutorial and the house tutorial. Today, we are going to be building castles. That's what today is all about. I'm going to show you guys a very easy and fun castle design you can use to enhance your cities and villages. So, every castle has a central tower that's bigger and taller than all the rest. And then what you do once you build that central tower, you can extend off, build other branches of the castle, and then use walls to surround your town or surround whatever you need to surround with walls. And I think this is a really nice spot. I've gone ahead and cleared out all the trees. We're going to be putting the castle right here in this open space, and then we may do some type of archway or some type of gate right here afterward. Let me clear out one or two more trees. Just a couple more trees that we want to take out first. Okay, there we go. So let's get started. I'm going to completely wing this. I think the best way to start is by putting down very strong corners and figuring out just what the size of the castle is going to be and what the foundation is going to look like. I think something like that is a reasonable size for a keep. So let's go ahead and make it about that big. Remember to do block variation. Stone brick is cracked stone brick is fantastic. You can get that by putting stone brick into a furnace. No excuse not to use it. It's super easy to get. Be careful not to overuse block variation. The more block variation you put in, the older your building looks. So you do have to be somewhat careful with that. You don't want things to look like they're completely falling apart, unless that's on purpose. Let's go over here. Got to get that cow out of the way. If you haven't watched the last tutorial, the house tutorial, I teach you how to build this fantastic village house. I recommend going and checking that out if you haven't seen it. The whole purpose of this series is to help people get better at building, and we're really trying to focus on the basics before we go to anything more advanced. Alright, so that's fine. Okay. We get all the pillars to the same level, and this is the foundation, basically. This is the first layer of the tower. That's going to be the central point of the castle. So all towers, castles, whatever you want to call them, have 3 levels. There's like a foundation. Well, you can do more than that, but it's easy just to have 3. You do a foundation level, you do an abdomen, a body section of the tower. This is going to be the tallest section. And then you have a crown. And the easiest way to do the crown is to just mirror whatever was on bottom on top. That's the easiest way of doing that. But let's start to lay down stone as the filler material. I'm going to cheat a little bit with World Edit just to speed things up. If you were in survival mode, obviously you'd be doing this and it would take a lot longer, but for purposes of this tutorial, I'll speed things up just a little bit. So there you go. This is kind of level 1 of the castle. Pretty basic right now, but again, you start with a basic shape and then you layer details on top. So right here I think would be where we would want to put the door. Let's do something like this. And then we can do that. And then on the inside here, we can just really quickly make this a floor. There we go. And you know, you could do all kinds of things on the inside if you want. You can have like pillars that you extend all the way up with different floors. We can worry about the inside of it later. Or never, hypothetically. If you don't think anyone's going to go inside the castle and you don't want to bother, then sometimes you can get away without having to do it. Okay. So I'm just adding a kind of a rim around the sides of the castle. Now that you can very clearly see is like level 1. Let's go ahead and do this too. There we go. Okay. How do we make this taller? How do we expand this in such a way that it looks good? Well, the easiest way is to just extend these pillars up farther. Now, obviously, you don't have to do pillars. There's 50 million different designs for castles, but I think having strong vertical lines on your castle increases the perception of strength. That's kind of a weird... It's a weird thing, but that's true. It does, in a weird way. So I'm going to show you a really cool pillar design. You can do upside down stairs like that. And then let me show you. Okay, check this out. If you were in a higher version of Minecraft, like 1.16, this gap wouldn't be here, and this design would look way, way better. That being said, it still works, even in this version. It still works. Even if it is a little bit wonky, it does still work. So let's cheat a little bit again and just copy this pillar. For the sake of the video not taking like an hour. There we go. Go up here. I think we could do here. I just got this idea. Let's do this. Mildly interesting. Just a small little improvement. Give it some arrows. Diagonal lines can be very strong, and they can be very they can add a lot to your build without you having to like put in too much effort here. So that now that this face is done, I think we can just again copy this entire face, and let's do something like this. rotate, and then it should paste correctly here. My world edit skills are a little bit rusty. There you go. Although this didn't. That needs to be fixed. Okay, and then rotate, paste. There you go. Let's do it again. The hardest part about designing a castle is choosing the design. Once you've chosen your design, it kind of builds itself going forward from then on. It's actually easier than you might think. The hardest part, of course, is coming up with a design. Once you've come up with a design, things get a whole hell of a lot easier. I'll put it that way. Things get a whole hell of a lot easier. So let's go up on this. It is looking a little bit flat. I think we're going to do something else. I think we're going to do this. Hold on. Let me just delete this. And then check this out. Okay. So then I can do this. Like so. Oh, no. That didn't do what I wanted. There we go. So. We're starting to get somewhere now. We've got some depth going on. The bigger your building is, the more depth it kind of has to have in order to still look good. If this tower were smaller, it wouldn't have to be, we wouldn't have to put this much depth on it. But we're just doing that because it is big. Let's carry that over, actually. Let's just carry this. Because this one's upside down, let's make that upside down. There you go. It's all about trying new things, experimenting. Like, I could have easily done that. And that looks fine, too. It's not that bad. But we're adding an extra design element of this miniature stripe that kind of goes across and around the entire building. It adds a lot more than you might think it does. So, what do we do from here? Well, we've got a bunch of different options as to what we could do. We could just make this section like, you know, maybe that tall. And then we could do a top section, which I think that's probably the safest bet. There are other options that we can consider. I think let's just make this a little bit taller to start with, and we'll go from there. So let's just copy this. Oh shit. Nope. Too high. There we go. Okay. Now we can copy a slightly larger section because it's bigger. Copy. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's really quite tall. It's getting to a point where we definitely have to do something to it in order to keep it interesting. So I think what we're gonna do, let's cut this down slightly. A little too tall there. And then let's do this. Let's just do that. I'm trying to decide if I like that. I kind of do. I think that's okay. Let's do it like that. So there you go. If I'm going a little bit too fast, you can always slow down the video slightly or rewatch this section. It might take you a lot longer to do this than it's taking me. Don't sweat it. The longer you build, the faster you're going to get. So it's just a matter of time before you can eventually get this fast. So I think what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to go around here with one final level of stone brick. Let's make it not perfect either. Let's make it a little bit of block variation. Another advantage to putting in block variation is you can take blocks that might otherwise be trash blocks, like andesite. If you're not planning to do anything with andesite, but you're mining a bunch of stone and you end up with some andesite, just fucking slap it in there. Occasionally. Save yourself a small amount of stone brick by doing that. Okay. So, we are going to have to do something that makes this ending not super abrupt. I think it's going to have to be something like that. Even that's a little bit iffy, though. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Because the reality is that the middle section of this tower is actually here. Like, when this is done, it's going to be about that tall. Given what we've done so far. So let's go up one more level. Actually, well, yeah, no. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. And then we're going to do this. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We could just, like... We could literally just have it be like that. Let's just do that. I think we're literally gonna just go around with one level of slabs. We're not gonna bother doing anything more complicated. That wasn't turning out the way I wanted it. It's okay to make mistakes if you feel like you... That's nice. If you feel like you have to delete something and go back. It's a lot harder to do that in survival mode than it is to do it in creative mode, but I've done it. I mean, I've been building stuff on 2B, and if I feel like I have made a mistake, I pull out the trusty old water bucket and I rappel myself back down the side of the tower to fix the mistake. Okay. So the biggest, most important thing is that we're like... We have to make the tower kind of indent a little bit in the middle section, but not in such a way that it looks unstable. So I think... It's so tricky. I think we can do something like that, maybe? Yeah, that'll look fine. Let's do that. Okay. Add some block variation so it's not fully consistent. That's the biggest task when you're building with stone brick, is that you can run into a problem where everything looks very, very samey because stone brick is all just entirely gray. You need to have some texture if you can. If you can manage to get in some texture, then I would say do it. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit too extreme right there. A little bit too extreme. Too much block variation. A little bit too much. We're still okay though. Okay. So I'm trying to see if that's the right height for a window. Set stone. Okay, and then we could do this. Window. And then that doesn't work. The window has to be like that. Has to be like that. Okay. So see here? You can probably understand what I'm going to do after this. I'm going to take this section right here, flip it upside down, and attach it. You can't do that with World Edit, but you know, we're talking about visually, just in your mind. You know, imagine that, because that's what we're about to do. There's a logic to this. There's a process to this. That's kind of what I'm trying to communicate. There's a formula for making these towers and castles that I always follow. Let's put stone in again. Let's put some more stone. And set stone. There you go. Get a little window. And obviously you could put a window down here too. I probably will. I'll probably just go ahead and do that. Oop, come on. Fit through the frickin' window hole. There we go. Okay. So, what do we do with the rest of it, basically? Well, we could do that. I don't like that, though. I actually don't like that. It's too thin. It's too thin. The problem with doing the abdomen middle section type thing is that you do risk your tower not looking strong enough to hold the part above it. So I'm just going to leave that as stone brick, because stone brick is inherently stronger than the fences. So let's go around with a stone brick layer here. That's correct. Yeah. Okay. And then like so. So we just do whatever we did down here, upside down. That's all we're doing. Oh, that's wrong. Yep. It is very easy to screw this up if you are not paying attention. So make sure you free cam back down and check frequently. Let's go ahead and put a little fence in there just to fill in that empty space so it doesn't look that weird. There's a little bit of an inconsistency right there. Put a little fence there, and you could do this if you wanted. In fact, that looks better. I'm just going to do that. It looks better than having that weird gap right there. Okay. So, take a breather for a second. Stretch your arms and your back so you don't hurt yourself. We are only 27 minutes, or about 30 minutes in to this. Probably going to be about another 30 minutes before we finish it, given how long this is generally taking. So again, the pattern is now the same except inverted. Like so. Okay. Now, things are going to get I mean, it's not going to get that much more difficult. It's kind of just we're doing the pillars again. So I believe nope, is that wrong? What the hell? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You don't need to make the pillar go all the way back, because this layer is just stone brick anyways. So now how tall is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9. So then right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That looks right. That looks right. Okay. Actually, we should be in a more opportune spot before we actually copy that. Copy. Paste. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Let's oh, this is just wrong. Hold on. This is just wrong. It needs to be one block over. Okay, and then we can stand right here and copy it. No, what? Unknown command. Copy. Okay. Rotate again, paste, and then we do that. Now you can see it's really coming together. It is really starting to come together. We're also starting to get some seriously impressive height on this. If you put this on top of a mountain, that would be very, very imposing. Obviously, this by itself isn't a complete castle. You're going to need additional towers and maybe like a hall, a castle hall type deal connected to this. But this is, you know, the centerpiece. Going to be very tall and impressive and imposing. Okay. Now, let me start to look at what was done down there. So we did this. And then it looks like this was done. Okay, let's do that, and then like so. And we had a window 2 blocks up, so right there. That does look a little weird. Like we may just not put that window there. We may put one, but it'll be like up here. Okay, now things are getting quite a bit more complicated. Uh, because this part is going to be very tricky to do upside down. So let's do, hold on. Yeah, okay. Okay. And then what else? Okay. So we need to do this. Actually, that's wrong. That's wrong. Hold on. It's going to be... It's going to be like the opposite of that. It's going to be this. And then down here, we do this. That is, Yeah, so the problem with doing things upside down is that you do end up with like weird oddities such as that. And we have a choice right now. We can either choose to keep it like that, which is technically correct, or we could alter so that it's more right side up. We can just alter it and make it more like, you know, correct, quote unquote, if we want to. I think we will. I think that's better. And then we can have the window right there. So, you know, it's generally speaking the same, but it's not exactly the same, and that's fine. Let's do this too. Let's just do this. Add a little stripe. So it's not perfectly identical, but it's there in spirit. Sometimes you have to make compromises like that to have it look not weird when you do the upside down bit. The main thing was just that we kept the columns the same. So I'm going to copy and paste this window design here with the frame and everything so that we get that. Oh shit, did that not? No, it did. Rotate and then paste again. Okay. Okay. Now we have to decide what we're going to do on top of this. And there's more than one option. We could just do a roof and then a second smaller tower on top. We could try to do 4 corners. I think that's probably what we're going to do. Given the pillars, I think it would be natural to then go up into 4 sections. So I'll show you how to do that. Basically what we're doing is, what we're going to do is we're going to take this tower that we already have, and oh wait, there's one detail I left out. I'm supposed to do that. We're going to take this this tower that we already have, and we're going to split it into 4 towers. It's a good way of thinking about it. So like this. Let's just go ahead and put a floor here. Make things slightly easier. So there we go. You might be like, I don't understand what we're doing. Well, it'll start to come together, and I think you'll understand in a second. We are going to put doors, but we can't do the doors. We'll do the doors later. I'll show you. I'll show you what we're going to do. So, I want to put a unique colored roof on this. I'm going to use obsidian. Huge fan of using obsidian on castle roofs. I think it looks really cool. Actually, let's go with, since I have unlimited materials, let's go with coal. Obsidian would be a fantastic material to use. There's no question about it. It just, it depends on what you have access to. Let's do this too. Make it not so perfect. Okay. Let's do that. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. See, one option would literally just to be do the roof like that. But I feel like that's too low. But whatever. We don't have a good option, so we're gonna do that. Okay. This is just the standard pointy roof. Nothing special going on. And then let's yoink some stone fences, cobblestone walls, and do that. Very, very pointy roof. Maybe too much. Maybe too much. Too pointy. But we'll see. Now we're just going to copy this to all 4 corners. And then there'll be a tower in the middle that will kind of phase through all of these. It's kind of a good way of thinking about it. So this should paste there, okay. And then like so. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Paste. Okay. So, what do we do from here? Well, we do need a tower in the middle. So let's get the ball rolling on that right now. So these are doors. So this is actually a balcony now. And we can cut here and turn all of these into doors. Like so. Oh, there we go. Okay. So lots and lots of doors. Let's grab the iron bars. And we can do what iron bars do best, which is, you know, fencing things off. Making a balcony on your castle. That is what iron bars do best. Okay. There we go. Next level on this castle. And hopefully you can kind of see how this finishes off from here. It's going to be pretty easy to just make a roof on top of this. And either we'll be done after that, or we will add... I think we will be done after that. I think that'll be enough for this episode. I'll have to make a part 2 where I talk about walls, because this video is going to be over an hour long if I do that. I don't think anybody wants that. So here we go. And then, actually, let's do what we did here. So let's go 2 blocks in with a normal 1x1 roof, and then let's switch to 2x2 after that. And the reason we're doing that, as opposed to just going straight to 2 blocks up, 1 over, is that we want there to be a gap right here. Like, we want the point of this tower to display itself without phasing in to the roof of this other tower. Like, we want this to be clearly defined and visible. If we did 2 blocks up like that, we would start to lose it. I don't want to lose it. So we're going to do it like this instead. And again, I'm leaving the corners off to give the tower the kind of appearance of being a little bit rounded. I have always just done that. I've always left the corners off and it looks good. Okay, here we go. The final bit. And would you look at that? That looks sick, doesn't it? I think that looks pretty good. So that's kind of how you would build a tower purely out of stone. It looks good. It looks good. But you know what would make this even better? If we enhance the stone with a highlight color. Let's replace the wall filler material with something other than smooth stone to give this tower a truly unique look. We can do that really quickly using World Edit. I'm going to use bricks because that is my favorite, one of my favorites. Let's do a brick and terracotta mix. Let me really quickly look up the block ID for terracotta, because I don't want to fuck it up and accidentally put lava. I used to have a lot of these memorized, but I don't use World Edit very much anymore. It looks like... Okay, it looks like it's 172. So let's go through here and give it a shot. Replace stone. Okay. Now let's check from the outside to make sure that that worked. It does appear to have worked. Although we did miss a little bit. We did miss a few places. And then we'll do... Actually, let's just do this from the inside. I think doing it from the inside is going to be easier in almost every case. So right there. Right there. try for a second. Aha! Windows, windows, windows. Forgot these windows. Okay, and then we can do this too. There are going to be a few places that you miss. You'll see once this is done that this is actually a massive improvement. It's going to give our castle a massive amount of color, which it was desperately lacking. It's going to take this build from being, you know, a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 to being an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. Let's back up a little bit. Oh, yeah, look at that. That looks amazing. Excellent. That is excellent. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this castle tower tutorial. Stay tuned next time. We're going to do a wall and gate tutorial to help bring your castle to life, help fortify it a little bit more, and add some additional stuff. Thank you for watching, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe.